Greetings. So this may be an unexpected video from my channel, but nevertheless, let me just throw out my points here. So the key idea, the theme of this video is as to why Zakir Naik seems to be flawless or a figure who always attains victory over the questions proposed to him. Now there are several reasons to this. I'm not saying that Zakir Naik is right, but rather he is, as we all know, he does misinterpret scriptures, he does misuse scriptures, verses from the scriptures as he likes. Then why isn't there anyone to debunk him? It's simply because a lot of the Hindus, probably all or most of the Hindus who actually approach him, troll themselves. They literally turn themselves into clowns because they are ill-equipped. So it is rather embarrassing. It actually boils my blood a little because among these Hindus who actually get the golden opportunity to actually confront Zakir Naik, now irrespective of who he may be, as a figure in his community, he is a giant. He has a gargantuan channel, a gargantuan number of audience to which he caters to. And when you actually have an opportunity to confront such a figure, to actually ask a question, like that's your golden opportunity to actually debunk him and perhaps prevent him from talking crap in future videos, you go and screw up the whole thing, right? So let's just go through a few of these examples. So I'll start with
Good
one
evening. My name is
gentleman.
Sivam. I'm from Malaysia. I'm actually been all over the world to do the best to get the most peaceful mind for all over the brothers. Okay, I have a company in Malaysia which have all the people working with me, including Africans, Pakistanis, Bangladesh, Thailand, and few other countries. What I find here, I would like to talk, I will be very pleased to, and thanks to you all to give me opportunity as a last talk. I was following up these for around 8 years, So why am I disappointed here now? When you talk about the peace, it should not come from only the word. It should come from the activities. Okay? The major things going on in the world is not in the way of peace. You must understand the most peaceful language is come from love. What is going on in the Middle East now? Is politics. I just not doesn't want to voice out because the politician is here. I don't want to see any politician because the politician, the world become crashed. Okay? I want soon in anger because in why, So my question here is very, very clear. You cannot deny it. If you do the good thing and the best thing, even I giving the best thing to my staff is from all over the world. I'm taking them as my own family. Then when I die, he said, I didn't carry the good things. I don't go to the correct place. Who went to the heaven and come back and tell that I never been the whole place?
Brother, what's your question? Brother, this is a question answer time.
Yeah.
What is your question? You have already
My
given a...
question is very clear. Yes, I was looking into the question all people putting on you. I'm very clear. It's all a basic question. I'm asking the floor. 80% or 90% of you, don't you understand what you say? You all should know very well. It's written in Quran. Everybody should know. What you are explaining now, just now, is all a basic, which I know. I have a lot of brothers working with me from all over. My question is, you cannot deny a person, if it is, I respect all the religions, Hindu, Emadan Sambandam, you know what's the meaning of that? We respect all the religions. I'm a vegetarian. I don't eat fish, I don't eat chicken, I don't eat anything. Okay? I got 3 children, I even touch my hand with my wife, Just now you told me Hindu can marry more wife. I ever, never, even my wife die, I die. It's something like that. Even in Hindu.
Brother has asked a question. Brother, I've understood your question. You have given a short speech.
Yeah.
This is a question answer time. You're talking about practice and you're breaking the rules. The rule I got,
you give me a clear answer. If you are a non-Muslim, if they do a lot of good things, even I pay for the masjid or what, I done everything for church and all. You are telling me that I don't get the correct message to go to the correct place?
Brother asked the question that if a non-Muslim gives charity, etc., and he said that, will you go to the correct place? Your question is everything garbled. You have to ask simple question. You are giving short speeches that you should not read book, you should practice Middle East, you have family. You said so many words, but there was no clear-cut question. A question should have a question mark in the ending.
What I'm trying to say is very simple. Can you give me the answer? If non-Muslim, good things, even give our life to Muslim, we didn't do the best for you all. Even when I die, many people say it's very pity we're not Muslim. Is this correct answer?
Brothers asking that if a non-Muslim does good things like he has given charity, so when he dies, will he go to heaven or hell? That's what I understand. Brother, the answer I already gave earlier. When you sit for an examination, like when I sat for my 10th standard ICSC, there were 6 subjects I had to pass. Science, English, Hindi, history, geography. I had to pass. If I get 100 out of 100 in 5 subjects, and one subject, science, I get 10 out of 100, will I pass? I will fail. So similarly, the criteria to go to Jannah, to go to paradise, is you should have faith, number 1, righteous deeds, exhort people to truth, exhort people to patience and perseverance. You may be a righteous person, you may be giving charity, etc. But if you don't have faith, if you don't believe in the one true God, if you don't worship the true God, you fail the
So you
test.
saw that video. Now Zakir Naik is very clear on his stance. He wants arguments, debates, question answer sessions which are based on comparative religion. In that sense, he expects you to quote your reference from scriptures of a particular religion that you follow. Now, as we all know, Hinduism as a whole may not necessarily have its entire practices based on a common scripture or the scriptures alone. For example, we have a folk part of the Hindu culture. You want to approach Zakir Naik, who has made his stance very clear. You do not approach him with an ideology that you just like to propagate. Right? For example, in this video, you saw this man, he had no clear questions. He had no scriptural knowledge. He just wanted to spew his emotions. He got emotionally worked out. He started blabbering irrelevant things. He had thought jumps, and his entire thought current was that of jumping from one idea to another and just spewing emotions, uncontrolled emotions and agitations towards Zakir Naik. And in fact, I was quite impressed with Zakir Naik because he actually stood there and was patient enough to actually handle this person quite professionally. For a figure like Zakir Naik, he could have just shoot this man away, but rather he actually listened to every rant of his and actually gave a rather simple answer, because in that sense, Zakir Naik knows that he has already won the game. The moment within the first 5 seconds, probably Zakir Naik had already won the game and he knew it. And he has to just smile there, waiting for this man to actually finish off his speech so that he can just dismiss him with a single sentence. When you want to approach Zakir Naik, you should know what you have. What exactly is that you want to ask him? Now let us look at another good professional debate between Zakir Naik and an atheist. Now this is a medical student.
You were a Muslim, now you're an atheist. Okay, brother, go ahead.
All right. My question is of 2 parts. First one, what is the stance of Islam on evolution? And 2, what is the stance of Islam on apostates? The first one, it's how does Islam deal with evolution when as I'm a medical student, my professors, when they show me the skulls of how humans have evolved throughout millions of years, from Homo habilis to Homo erectus to us Homo sapiens, and when they show proof of how evolution has taken place over the years, how do you disprove that when it is fact? It is not theory or it is not a hypothesis anymore. It is fact. How do you disprove that, if you could answer?
But if you read the latest researches, most of the scholars today do not believe in Darwin's theory as a whole to be correct. No scientist today yet believes Very few, there may be few. But the majority, they disagree that we have been created from apes. And that's what, where was the, what did you not understand?
What you say, it is true. It was true. 150 years ago, it was true. It's not Darwin's theory anymore. 150 years of research has said that it's not once, he was just the one who started the ideology of evolution. It has gone over loads, 150 years worth of research with the latest scientific advancements that it's not what you're saying. When my professor shows me proof, it's not just from apes, which is completely certain. When you see proof how the common cold evolves pathogen, like when it changes its own morphology just to keep up to date with today's vaccines, it's evolving its defense mechanisms against today's latest vaccine.
Brother,
that's
let me tell you one
evolution
thing.
right there.
Let me tell you one thing.
It's not Darwin's theory anymore.
Let me tell you one thing, brother. I am a medical doctor, and there are many researches being done. If it turns out to be a fact, it has to come in the medical college.
It is in the medical college. I'm taught this in university.
Sorry?
I'm taught evolution in university.
No, when you say theory, it's a theory. When the theory becomes a fact, it changes, that thing changes into a fact. So by the basic you saying theory of evolution, it means it's an hypothesis.
No.
It is not yet a thought.
There's
it's
a
not yet a
difference.
fact.
There's a difference between hypothesis and theory. A theory is something in science that has the highest honor. When something gains the word theory,
I'm sorry,
it's the law of evolution.
I'm sorry, your knowledge of science is very weak. It is Boyle's law. It is not Boyle's theory. It is Archimedes' principles. It's not Archimedes' theory. Whatever's theory, when it becomes a fact, it changes into law. I'm sorry, your knowledge is so weak, and I wouldn't like to continue. Your knowledge is so weak.
My question,
I'm
sir.
not here to teach 2 + 2 = 4 in the audience. In the question answer session, you ask a question, I give the answer. If you like it, you keep it. If you don't like it, you throw it.
Okay, just
The thing is that if your knowledge is so weak, you're saying theory is the highest thing in science. I'm sorry, you're absurd. I'm a medical doctor. Theory is the highest thing in science. I'm very sorry, brother.
If someone
I'm
can
Jahangir,
disprove,
brother, I'm very sorry. Theory is never the highest thing in science. If you think just because you're going to university or coming to fool the people here,
I'm not.
I'm totally sorry. Theory, if it becomes a fact, and if the theory becomes a law, it may reach a high standard. But theory by itself, it's a theory, it's a hypothesis. Once it gets converted, it becomes a law, it becomes a fact. Newton's law, it becomes a fact, it becomes a law. I'm sorry to say that by itself, it's calling it a theory.
And you can see how well prepared he was. His questions were clear, he broke them down intelligently and confronted Zakir Naik and shot the questions direct on his face with evidence. So much that Zakir Naik actually got agitated, so much agitated that he just left the stage. Right? Okay, Zakir Naik, for him being who he is, he might have gained applauses from the audience, but generally we know who the real winner there was. It was that atheist boy. Now that is what we should be doing, right? Not just confronting him and just blabbering and getting stuck here and there, and ultimately throwing a free victory towards Zakir Naik. Now another video. Now this is an interesting video where a man comes well prepared actually. He is from ISKCON and he has actually collected a number of verses, scriptural evidence to debunk Zakir's common explanations on the Vigraha worship of Hinduism. Where, as we know, Zakir Naik constantly goes on to say that the scriptures of Hinduism does not actually promote an image-filled form of God. Right? So, let us see.
Chapter 5, text number 1, it says, Ishwara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarvakaranam Karanam. Ishwara Parama Krishna, it says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the Supreme Controller. Ishwara Parama Krishna. Sachidananda Vigraha. Sachit Ananda means eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge. So it says Sachit Ananda Vigraha. Vigraha here refers to the form, a transcendental form which is given in the Vedas. Vedas also mention about the form And I have many other quotes which says that the Lord have been realized in different forms.
Which Veda are you quoting, brother?
This is Srimad Bhagavatam.
Srimad Bhagavatam is not part of the Vedas. Vedas are four: Rig Ved, Yajur Ved, Sam Ved, Atharva Ved.
Yes, I agree with that.
Right?
But the Brahma Samhita is the
But-
commentary by Brahma.
Don't quote commentary, quote the text. If you follow the commentary of the commentary of Quran is written by human beings. You quote the text. As far as Vedas are concerned, there were many Vedas. Today, there's Rig Ved, Yajur Ved, Sam Ved, Atharva Ved.
Yes, that we also have
There are four
18
Vedas.
we have also 18 Puranas, 108 Upanishads,
Whether you-
108 Ishopanishads.
Whether you ask the question, let me
And we
reply.
have Iktisas.
You ask the question, let me reply.
Okay.
As far as the Hindu scriptures are concerned, the Hindu scriptures are divided into two types: Shrutis and Smriti. Shruti is considered to be the word of God, revelation from God. In it, you have the Vedas, you have the Upanishads. Then you have the Smriti. Smriti is considered to be written by human beings. There, you have the Ithiyas, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita as part of Mahabharata. Then you have the Manusmriti. So between the two scriptures, the Shruti is superior than the Smriti. If there's a clash between a Shruti and the Smriti, you have to follow the Shruti, not the Smriti. Because Shruti is higher. Same way with the Quran. We have the Quran, then we have the Hadith. If there's a Hadith which is not Sahih, it clashes with the Quran, then we keep the Hadith aside. What we have to believe in Quran and the Sahih Hadith, authentic saying of Prophet Muhammad. There are certain sayings which people have manipulated. So when such manipulated Hadith comes, what we do? We reject it. So now I am quoting you Veda. Veda is the highest. No Smriti can go against the Veda. If it goes against the Veda, we reject the Smriti. We follow the Shruti. This I am talking from Hindu scholars. As far as the Vedas are concerned, the Vedas speak, if you read Dayanand Saraswati, the founder of Arya Samaj. Correct? In the Vedas, it only talks about God who has got no image. I know there are other scriptures like Manusmriti and Itihas in which it talks about God having image. But a lower scripture cannot.
Now this gentleman actually had a good start, but Zakir Naik saw that, right? So Zakir Naik was very intelligent here. He immediately cornered the man by actually saying that he only wants explanation, scriptural reference from the highest authority of Hinduism, which is the Vedas. And Zakir Naik is absolutely right here. The Vedas, the Upanishads are indeed the highest authority of Hinduism. And if he demands an answer, a scriptural verse from these Shrutis, you have to give it to him, because he has a point there. He wants answers from the highest authority of Hinduism. Now, being in ISKCON, we know that a lot of ISKCONites, they know verses, they have knowledge on the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam, but a lot of them struggle to find verses from the Vedas directly. Now, Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam do not fall into the category of the Vedas. They come under Smritis. Right? And Zakir Naik has been very clear about that. He corners the man, and that man clearly fails to counter-argue Zakir Naik. He cannot differentiate Vedas, Upanishads from Puranas. And Zakir Naik corners him and gains victory again. Here, Zakir Naik's arguments are correct. Now let us look at another video. So this is from a student in Malaysia. So
I'd like to relate it to you. So I've seen your previous speeches before on YouTube. You are a specialist in comparative religion. So when you compare Islam and other religion like Hinduism, like quoting scriptures from Bhagavad Gita or something, don't you think there is a possibility to misinterpret it and provide misguidance to those who doesn't belong to that faith?
What? Did he answer my questions? No. One of the most famous Hindu preacher in the world, Shri Ravi Shankar. Many people call him God.
But sir, how about Sadhguru? I guess he destroyed some of your points, I guess. Sadhguru from the Yogi Foundation.
Arrange for a dialogue, I will debate him. You arrange, I will debate him. Sadhguru is a famous person, ask him. I will debate him. There are some people who have taken his speeches and given answers Some people, not himself. If he wants, let him arrange. No problem, I will debate him. Okay? Because I know he's famous. Any famous personality, if he wants to debate, I don't want to debate him. He wants to debate me, open.
Debate you, I'm sure one day I will.
Most welcome. The day you can get 20,000 people for your audience, I will debate you. Now what you can do, question answer. Did I answer your question or not?
Yeah, you did. Thank you.
Very satisfactorily?
Yes.
I'm very happy. Thank you for accepting it. And may Allah guide you. And I'll pray for you that you come to the truth, brother. Thank you very much. Yes, most welcome.
This student had a good start. He confronts and tells Zakir Naik as to, you could have actually misinterpreted the scriptures. A very good start. But he did not have any supporting points to himself, which he could have just prepared to further debunk the explanations from Zakir Naik. Again, Zakir Naik is very clear about his stance that he is primarily focused on comparative religion. So he wants you to actually give and quote scriptures. You can't just tell him that you have misinterpreted so and so without giving him the explanation. If you want to say that, yes, this is the reason why you have misinterpreted this verse, because this verse can mean so and so. He could have given that reference, but he did not, because clearly this kid does not know the scriptures himself. Again, Zakir Naik makes use of the situation to corner this boy. He goes on further to insult him. And the ultimatum is when the boy actually says that he wants to have a debate with Zakir Naik and gets his ass whooped when Zakir Naik actually says that, he would actually want to debate with someone with a particular credibility. So this is where he got ass roasted. And this is where a lot of these Hindus who actually, in the end, I feel they humiliate Hinduism further. It would be just nice if they just ignored Zakir Naik. There wouldn't be any issues. Zakir Naik would not even have opportunity to actually insult Hinduism. If none of these jokers actually confronted Zakir Naik. And the obvious reason, those who are well versed with the scriptures do not confront Zakir Naik because they know it's not worth their time. There are better things to do. So those who feel that they want to defend Hinduism and they go and confront Zakir Naik without the necessary preparation should consider analyzing Zakir Naik, analyzing how he misuses scriptures, how he actually misquotes scriptures to prove himself right, even though he's not. And they should analyze, they should equip themselves with scriptural knowledge, scriptural evidences. They should be able to recite particular verses from the Vedas, Puranas, and so forth to actually counter-accuse Zakir Naik. And in that sense, they would definitely gain victory. Now in the next video, I would like to carry on. Now in the next video, you will see as to why Zakir Naik is clearly wrong. Every statement, every reference of his from the Vedas is clearly misinterpreted, is wrong in fact. For example, when he says that the Vedas do not promote Vigraha worship, there are so many verses from the Vedas which actually talk about Vigraha worship. The Yajur Veda talks about the consecration, the process of consecrating a Vigraha. So these things will be covered in the next video. So stay tuned. Thank you for watching.